Hi guys and welcome. Today you are going to follow along with Miss Baines as I am showing you guys how we annotate the text. Remember, annotations are very important when you are reading. It is one of our most valuable test taking strategies for reading or really any subject. Whenever you are reading something, you must leave yourself annotations, notes, little clues. We call them multiple things. That's going to help you understand the text. There is no point in us reading these stories and we're not comprehending or understanding what we're reading, because when it's time for you to go on and answer your questions, you're not going to be able to answer the questions if you don't even understand what you just read. So please take the time to make the necessary annotations. So we're going to practice making annotations. In this portion, I am going to be annotating. Please pay attention because the video will be stopping on the near part to ask you certain questions. So you want to make sure you are engaged as I am showing you guys how we annotate. Okay. So remember, the very first thing you want to do when you get your story is you want to read the title. And you don't want to just read the title, you want to make a prediction. So our story that we're going to be reading all this week is called Excerpt from Bad Boy. Now, the actual name of the story is simply From Bad Boy. Bad Boy, my bad guys. Remember, I told you all that this was just a piece from a memoir that was much longer. It had a lot of different chapters, but they just took out a portion. That's what excerpt means, and they gave it for us to read in 6th grade English. But the actual name of the story is From Bad Boy. Well, Bad Boy. So, Bad Boy. Okay. When I look at this title, we know what the word bad means, and we also know what the word boy means. So I'm going to get started with making my predictions. And remember, in this digital world, you're going to be doing all of this inside of your classroom notebook or inside of the document on whatever platform you're on. So the first thing I'm going to do is type out my prediction. And in order to type on the document, I already have it set to T at the top. I'm going to double click and my box should pop right up. If it pops up and it scoots you down, don't worry, just grab onto the box like so and then just drag it and move it around. So just by reading the title Bad Boy, I'm going to make a prediction on what I think the story will be about. So I'm going to say I think the story will be about a young boy and some troubles he may have. Okay? And you guys know it kind of drags out in your classroom notebook. You just scoot it back over, kind of adjust it, and then you're good to go. Okay? All right. So I've made my prediction based on the title. Now I'm going to get into reading the actual story. Bad Boy by Walter Dean Myers. There were two categories of friends in my life: those with whom I played ball and everyone else. Athletes were highly respected in the black community, and boys my age were encouraged to play some sport. So I'm going to stop right here because I've already made a connection. Remember, we like to make our connections with the text because anytime we can connect personally to the text or connect the text to another text or connect the text to something current that's going on in the world, it helps us understand more. So I've already made a connection. In order for me to annotate that connection, I'm going to go up here to my highlighter. So you always want to make sure that you're on draw. So if your screen was set to home, you're going to come over here to draw, because this is going to give you all of the tools you need to write on your document. Okay? So I'm going to go here to highlighter, and I'm going to pick pink because, Miss Baines. and I'm going to highlight this sentence. So I'm going to put my cursor close to the beginning of the sentence, press down, and I am highlighting. Okay, that's a quick tutorial for anyone who is new to the class or just forgot how we do this. So I want to highlight this entire sentence because I've made a connection. And to take it a step further, I'm going to go back up here to the top to change it from highlighter to type. Because now I want to type the connection I made, because remember, we're leaving ourselves little notes. So I'm going to bring my connection down here. Or I could do it up here. Maybe I'll do it right here. So I'm going to come up here and double tap, and I'm going to make my connection. And the connection that I made is playing sports is a big deal for boys. Or should I say was a big deal for boys when I was a child. Okay? And maybe that's a connection that you made for yourself as well. Maybe playing sports is a big deal for you guys now. So actually, I'm going to move it down right here. All right. Okay, don't worry if it goes to the bottom. We can always just come back to the top, and there goes my connection. Now I'm going to continue with reading. I love playing ball. I would play basketball in the mornings with the boys who were just reaching their teens, and then stoop ball or punch ball on the block with boys my age. Sometimes Eric and I would go down to the courts on Riverside Drive and play there, and I was a bad loser. Most of my prayers, when they weren't for the Dodgers, were quick ones in the middle of a game, asking God to let me win. I liked other sports as well, and even followed the New York Rangers hockey team in the papers for a while, until I found out that all the references to ice meant just that they were skating on ice. There wasn't any ice to skate on in Harlem, so I gave up hockey. All right. So one thing that we also want to do, if this would help you, I would do this because it would definitely help me. It's okay once you're done reading a paragraph, if you want to kind of summarize or pull out what you think this paragraph was talking about. So I am going to bring another text box by double tapping, and I'm going to leave a little note for myself that says, paragraph 1 showed me that Walter, because remember, this is a memoir, so that means that the author is the main character because he is writing about his life and a specific experience that he had. Paragraph 1 showed me that Walter really liked sports, and it was a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and just move it over. And it was a big deal for boys to play sports. Okay. So it's kind of dragging. I do have a typo, but you guys know how we'll fix that. So I just come right here and okay. So there we go. I made a little note about paragraph 1 and what I took from it. So now I'm going to move on to paragraph 2. With school out and me not having access to Mrs. Conway's cache of books, I rediscovered the George Bruce branch of the library on 125th Street. Sometimes on rainy days, I would sit in the library and read. The librarians always suggested books that were too young for me, but I still went on a regular basis. I never could have afforded to buy the books and was pleased to have the library and its free supply. So right here in paragraph 2, I'm noticing a change. Because remember, another thing that we want to take note of whenever we are reading is if we learn new information or our character changes. So in paragraph 1, we realize that our main character loves playing sports, and that is very important. But now we see right here, our character also actually likes reading. And he likes reading so much that even when school is out and he can't read, he goes all the way to the library because he likes reading a lot. So I am going to add another highlight, and this time I'm going to use yellow because pink was for my connection. And I'm going to put highlight like right here. And again, don't worry if it's not perfect. Okay, then I'm actually going to go right here to the pen because then I kind of want to underline something. I'm going to use green. Okay, and I want to underline that the librarians always suggested books that were too young for our character, because that lets me know that our character probably was really smart. Okay, and again, because we're leaving notes to ourselves, I'm going to go up here to the type option, and I am going to type a little note to myself about what I just read. And remember, we want to use the characters' names. Walter really loves books. Okay. Now I'm going to keep reading. Being a boy meant to me that I was not particularly like girls. Most of the girls I knew couldn't play ball, and that excluded them from most of what I wanted to do with my life. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here because now we're going to work together and we're going to try to make an inference based on what I just read in the beginning of paragraph 3.